The Senate chamber was buzzing that afternoon, the kind of low, restless hum that fills the air before a storm. Reporters leaned forward, bands ready, cameras rolling. Staffers whispered nervously from the gallery. Everyone knew something big was about to happen. What no one expected was how explosive it would become. Chuck Schumer, seasoned and sharp, had taken the floor with his usual confidence. His voice carried authority as he laid out his position on a contentious new bill, framing it as a moral imperative. He was polished, practiced, and deeply convinced that he had the upper hand. For years, Schumer had commanded respect on the Senate floor, his words often closing debates rather than igniting them. But that day, something shifted. Sitting across the chamber was Senator John Kennedy, calm as ever, his pen tapping quietly on the desk. He listened with that familiar half-smile, eyes sharp, letting Schumer's arguments pour out like a well-rehearsed sermon. Many assumed Kennedy would remain silent or simply offer a modest rebuttal. But when Schumer took a jab at Kennedy's principles, painting him as out of touch with the American people, the atmosphere changed. Kennedy rose slowly, deliberately, adjusting his glasses. The entire room went still. He didn't raise his voice at first. He didn't need to. His tone was steady, like a blade being unsheathed. "Mr. Schumer," he began, "you're very good at speeches. I'll give you that. But the problem with your speech today is the same problem we've had for years. It's all hat and no cattle." The chamber rippled with gasps and muffled laughter. Schumer tried to cut in, but Kennedy pressed on. He broke down Schumer's arguments point by point, dismantling them not with rage, but with clarity. He painted vivid pictures of struggling families, small-town workers, and forgotten Americans who had been drowned out by polished political theater. His words struck a chord, and not just as a counter-argument, but as a reminder of the human faces behind the policies. The clash grew fiery. Schumer shot back with passion, accusing Kennedy of oversimplifying complex issues. His words came fast, but they lacked the ground and weight Kennedy had just delivered. Kennedy, in turn, didn't flinch. Instead, he leaned harder into the truth that so many in the chamber had avoided. He spoke about trust, about the duty of leaders to serve people rather than themselves, about the arrogance of forgetting who actually built the nation. The room seemed to shrink around them as the two giants collided. Some senators shifted uncomfortably, others watched with awe. It wasn't just a debate anymore, it was a battle over values, over who truly stood with the people. Kennedy's southern wit laced through his logic, sharp enough to draw laughs even in the heat of the moment. But beneath the humor was something heavier, conviction. By the time Kennedy finished, his voice had grown louder, not in anger, but in urgency. "You can dress it up in speeches, you can polish it in sound bites, but the American people aren't stupid. They know when they're being sold a bill of goods, and they're tired of being played." The chamber erupted, some clapping, others stunned into silence. Schumer stood frozen, visibly shaken, his rebuttal faltering under the weight of Kennedy's fire. For a long moment, it was quiet. The clash was over, and it was clear who had carried the day. Kennedy didn't celebrate or gloat. He simply sat back down, pen in hand, his expression calm once more, as though nothing extraordinary had just happened. But the moment lived on. Reporters rushed out to break the story. Clips of the exchange spread like wildfire, millions watching Kennedy's words cut through political noise like a knife. For ordinary Americans, the moment felt refreshing, a reminder that truth could still shine through in the halls of power. What made it powerful wasn't that Kennedy destroyed Schumer in some flashy performance. It was that he spoke with authenticity, from a place beyond politics. He reminded the chamber, and the country, that leaders are not there to perform, but to serve. And that was the lasting message of that fiery clash, that courage isn't about shouting the loudest, but about standing firm in the truth even when the whole room is waiting for you to falter.